Thank you so much, everyone. Please join me in welcoming Rear Admiral Shekhar Mital sir to please come forward and share your views on challenges and hurdles for startup.
At the outset, I want to express my deep gratitude to the organizers of this festival, of this particular session, from the MERI side, management of the MERI, and in particular, Professor Tapan Ray, who has invited me for this. A little bit about me so that you can add a little more context to it. I am retired here as Shekhar Mital. I was in Navy for over 33 years. I have done as since I retired as fairly senior position in Navy, so I had the opportunity to do various tenures, including Director General Naval Submarine Design. The Directorate is the apex body which looks after the design of ships and submarines type, including the nuclear submarines what we make in the Navy. Thereafter, I was selected as Chairman Managing Director Goa Shipyard, where I was there for 5 years. Had a good fortune of converting, a loss-making shipyard. When I joined, it was in losses, 50 crores losses, to almost 350 crores of profit over 5 years period. So it was a good journey. So based on the performance, I was also selected as member Public Enterprises Selection Board, which is a secretary level post in the Government of India. So had a good innings there, good exposure to the PSUs. When we say PSUs, we were talking of all big PSUs, including your SAIL, ONGC, and shipyards and everything. So it gives you a good insight into the functioning at the FX level and about the selection process, things like that. Thereafter, I worked with the MSME also, the defense MSME, which was working in close quarters with Navy and Coast Guard, and it was keen to acquire a shipyard. So we acquired a shipyard under NCLT and revamped it and started the shipbuilding inside there. So basically, overall, I got a 10 years of corporate experience, and after that, I joined a startup. And that is where my connect with this comes. So for now, almost 2 years, I am running a startup as a co-founder. I'm of course a minority shareholder there. When I say co-founder, my main promoter is the IIT 2017 pass out. And basically, we make autonomous ships and submarines, right? And this autonomous ships and submarines, right, is the way forward. You have heard about the drones, and this is basically we are talking of a naval drone, right, or naval submerged drones. Now, this is a very complex with reference to drones, right? And particularly, I've been asked to speak about the challenges part here. So probably you can and escapulate it from my 18 months of journey. You'll realize that how it works. What is it about, right? What one is supposed to do in a startup, right? So, what is the basic challenge when we say for a startup? And I'm straight away going by my own experience, right? When we started this 18 months back, we basically wanted to build something on the basis of, right, so that we can introduce a disruption. And to introduce a disruption, and then there should be a market for that, and then you should be competitive, there should be novelty in the product. How to keep the competition at bay? And it is not for today, it should sustain over the years, right? So one has to look at it, what sort of a product, what sort of a service you want to start with, and where you have the lead, and where you have an edge over the competition, right? And basically the startup was on the basis of my co-partner, who is the main promoter, right? He is a top IT chap, right? He is able to write the autonomous software in-house. And that is what is the biggest moat. So the first challenge for a startup, right? The moat what you are looking for. What distinguishes the startup? How you stand out, in a crowd, right? As I said, we have barely started 18 months back, and today we have a visibility of close to over 400 crores of dollars, right? And how does that happen, right? And it's a open competition, and it is basically, as I said in my introduction, right? Basically, I am talking of Ministry of Defense. We deal with the Ministry of Defense. We are talking of IDEX program, and IDEX in an open competition. We could convince people, yes, we can make a platform which has never been made. We can make an autonomous submarine. right? And there were biggies in the competition. This includes Larsen and Toubro, this includes Garden Reach Shipyard. A whole lot of big people were there, right? But then the point is, as far as the others, and it's a high level committee in the Ministry of Defense under IDEX. You see, fortunately, we are in the times where startups are being promoted aggressively, and it is top down since it is coming from Prime Minister directly. So all ministries are also giving a lot of push, and there is a real desire to see how it changes. So there are a whole lot of policy changes are taking place, right? So the first part of the challenge is how distinct is your product? How do you capture the market? Are you introducing something? Are you able to provide something? When I'm talking of the autonomous submarine, right? And if you search the website, my company's name was there, of course, Retd Marine. It is XLUUV by the product name Jalkapi. And XLUUV is extra large unmanned vehicle. And there are very, very few countries in the world who are able to make it. In India, this is the first time we'll be making it, right? So this is what is precisely the point. And probably if you have a product which is unique in nature, right, which can stand on its own feet, which can compete, where you see a visibility over the years, right, then only your people will back you up, people will support. Now this product, this particular challenge which we had applied and which we won, right, this challenge is under scheme Aditi. And Aditi scheme involves basically if the project cost is up to 50 crores, government will fund 50% of that. If it is more than 50 crores, the entrepreneur has to bear the expenditure. In our case, the best estimate was 58 crores, so we had to bear 8 crores of excess expenditure. But up to 50 crores, government was giving us the funding of 25 crores, right? So once the 25 crores is secured, what is the next point, right? How do you manage that 25 plus 8, 33 crores? That's the next challenge immediately. So basically, 3 M's of a business, in any business, man, machine, material, right? And it starts सबसे पहले with the money, machine and material, right? So basically, it starts with the funding, and for funding, for people to back you up, right, you have to have a very solid credentials. And that is where is the next point, next most important point in this journey, right? What we are talking about, what story you have, what conviction you have, what capability you have, what proven expertise you have, that on the other side of the table, when people are looking at you, they are convinced with this story. Actually, fortunately, these days, we all are, or most of us would have seen the Shark Tank, right? So we are aware of it, how it really works. So basically, when you go for a funding, right, what are the VCs or whosoever the angel investors, what do they look at you, right? The first point is about the promoters, how clear they are about the idea. I hope I am audible now. I wish someone had raised the hand. Okay, my mistake. So basically the point is it's all about the promoters, it's all about the co-promoters, and about the next thing is about the story, how much conviction is there, and then it is you leave it to the people to judge, right? In reality, we have been able to raise about 31, 32 crores of funds. Just we have finished this in last 2 months, right? But the matter of fact is, it takes quite a bit, right? Funding, though everyone says there are a whole lot of VC are there. We would have visited some 30, 40 VCs, and everyone is very, very excited with the whole thing. But still, when someone is investing money, right, they are absolutely clear. They want to be 10 timers, 8 times, 10 times return they are looking for. And that is where, when we say about the funding, since I am on the subject of funding, right, you would have heard of pre-angel, and there are almost about 8 stages of funding. Typically, they say pre-angel round, and then angel round, and then there are the series A, B, C, D, and there are bridge funding, and the next last stage is IPO, right? But you go through the VC's website, everyone will say, everyone is more interested in pre-angel round or maximum series A. They all say we want early startup, we want to support early startup. So when they are saying they want to support early startup, it is like something picking up the best of the startup, right? Where they see a potential, where they see, yes, they have a product which can make a difference, where they see a product which, they'll be able to sell in the market, right? So that is what is really important for each one of us, right? So the first challenge is the product, right? Your capability to deliver that product, what you are thinking. And when we say capability to deliver the product, it is these days it's all about disruption. These days it's all about innovation. What is innovation you are bringing, right, in the product? And when we say innovation, is it in terms of quality of service what you will provide, quality of the product? Is it going to be efficiency multiplier? Is it going to be productivity multiplier? Or it is going to provide you a significant cost savings? So it's all about that, right? So you have to be clear, right? Yes, you have some idea which will work, and if you can sell that idea. Next part is about the storytelling, and storytelling with the conviction. It is not some fiction you are saying, which you can further translate into reality, right? So after this first part is over, product, and along with the product is the related point is where is the funnel you are seeing. Funnel is, that means this particular product, it's not one product, you're not dependent on one company, right? One customer or single product to single customer. Do you have multiple products to supply to that customer? Or you have multiple products for multiple customers? Or the single product to multiple customers? So that the funnel is there, so that the visibility is there, so that you can see the cash flows are, whatever you are spending, against that you are generating the revenue stream also. So, and the product should be able to sustain, not it is for today, for next 5 years, 7 years, 8 years, at least that much visibility should be there, and you should have a means to say that, yes, you will keep upgrading the technology. If it is IT based, do you have that sort of a competency, or do you have that vision over the team which will keep upgrading the features which can stand the times, whether it's on the security front or whether everyone is talking of machine learning language or AI or whatever, AI agents, whatever we are talking about. So we should have that vision. So that is the, these couple of things fall in the first bucket. The next related point is, right, what sort of a connect you have with your customer. Or is customer satisfied, right? What if you scale up if you provide more numbers, are you still able to maintain the quality? Are you taking the feedback? So the linkage with the customer becomes very, very important. The satisfaction of the customer, the feedback, how you are incorporating in more products. From one product to multiple products, you can go only if your ears are to the ground. You know what customer is looking for, right? And we are talking of introducing multiple products. Naturally, the next related thing is the marketing. How you are doing the marketing? Are you, is it word of mouth? Is it digital marketing? Like I said, we are operating in with the defense. So with defense, you will appreciate that the marketing is a different, right? You need to know the people. You need to know the directorates. You need to, have that connect with the people at the right places so that you are able to market your product, right? So after this, right? Suppose we have a product. Suppose we have a customer also, right? What next? Then it is all about the execution. Now we have got the order. Now order has two parts. We are supposed to provide the first submarine, as I mentioned to you, which is 50 crores or 58 crores. And the time frame which has been given, and we have signed the contract with the Navy, time frame for that is 2 years. And after that, we will immediately get guaranteed orders for 3 of them, each costing over 100 crores, right? Something like that. Now basically, after you have got an order, what is most important? As CMD Goa Shipyard, I always used to say, as CMD Goa Shipyard, I always used to say, what is important is not getting the order alone. The biggest important aspect for a CMD or for a company is the execution of the order. You have got an order, as long as you execute it, people are not going to next time give you an order. So it is basically only on the delivery of the platform that people will recognize you. What is the quality? What are the specifications which was indicated, right, initially at the contract stage? Are you able to meet those specifications? Or are you even further able to raise the bar? That is where you stand out, and that is where, so the next all challenges are with reference to having your team in place. Do you have the right team? Do you have the right infrastructure? Do you have the required compute setup? IT security, cloud computing, whatever is required. Now, if you are going to have, and what is most important, what are we talking about? When we are talking of a startup, there will always be short of funds, right? Initial stages. When you are short of funds, you have to be very conscious of, like we have got this order, we are presently 15 of us, and we want to ramp it up to something like about 40, 50 within a year time, right? So you have to, but you have to be very conscious of it. So initially, what it comes to is, you as a promoter and co-promoter, you have to look after the finance also, you have to look after the HR also, you have to look after the admin also, you have to look after the procurement also. So one has to be very clear, right? Who all are going to do all this job? Can you do it? Do you have that sort of bandwidth to do all these things? Or you have to employ a HR chap also, a finance chap also, a commercial chap also, a accounts chap also, a budgeting chap also, but then your expenditure shoots up, right? You have to be extremely conscious. As a startup, we are in that stage, we have got an order, we have got a funding. Now we are in that stage when we are working continuously to see that how do we do the execution, and that too, in execution, most important is timely execution. That's very important. Customer is very, very conscious you are able to deliver the project in time, besides those quality and things like that, right? So that's another important one. What next? Now, if you are spending whatever money, you have raised the money, I said pre-angel round or angel round or the series A. Now, if you have raised the funds, moment external bodies come, they want 100% accounting for everything, right? So what is more important is, then you talk about MIC, and then you talk of management information system, your formats are there, bookkeeping, record keeping, right? Accounts are well maintained. If you have a HR department, or you have 20 people, if you have to deposit the PF, right, against their with the government, right, with the MSME department or labor relief department. So all these statutory compliances, record keeping becomes important, right? So that means what I said initially. You have to be conscious of, one, you want to save the cost. On the other side, these are the things which you will have to do, right? If you are buying something, you will have to pay GST. You are collecting the money for GST, and then it has to be paid also. So one has to be very, very clear about it. So basically, these are the typical things. I started with the product, and then I said after the product, then I said about the customer. You should be clear about the customer. Connect to the ground, keep your good connect with the customer, so that you can keep incorporating the feedback, and then it's all about the execution. And once you are able to do, you will be a winner. Once you are able to execute your project in the given time, I think the success will come. So that's what from my side, wishing you a very, very good seminar. Thank you very much.